Good morning, everybody. Welcome to In the Garden with Joyful Living. I am Kimberly Dixon. Honestly, I wasn't going to do a live this morning, but I was sitting on the back patio doing my Bible study and having some coffee. And today's topic, creating your environment, came to mind. Well, God gave it to me. I don't do anything on my own. But while we wait for a few people to join us, let me show you the front this week. I'm really ecstatic about the growth that has occurred. Those are my blue-eyed African daisies are sitting there. I've got my squash sitting out in the sun and my tomato. But look, guys, I've got babies. The sun is shining on my phone, so I can't tell if you can see what I'm looking at or not. But I've got little baby squash. Let's see. It's so adorable. And this better bush tomato. Good morning, Tamika. Good morning, Nyla. This tomato, we had a lot of rain. What day was that? Thursday? And when I tell you this tomato shot up overnight, it was amazing. It actually has 9 tomatoes on it in various stages of growth. That was the biggest one I just showed you. I was looking for one of the babies, but I don't know if you can see any of those back there, but it has 9 tomatoes on it. And all those flowers is going to have much more in just a few days. So last night for dinner, I had a kale and arugula salad. I don't know how many of you saw the pictures I posted of what this kale looked like a few weeks ago, but I've been harvesting it like crazy. I'm gonna have another kale salad today, because I'm gonna tell y'all guys, I make a kale and arugula salad with some marinated onions red onions that I made. It is so delicious. And then I have it with strawberries that come out of my strawberry basket that's empty now because I harvested yesterday. And then I make a homemade vinaigrette that's honey mustard, red wine vinegar, onion. What else is in that? Something. But anyway, so good. So good. I've been killing that kale. The thing is, I use the instructions when I planted this box, but I think it's a little bit overcrowded because this is my red bell pepper, and that's the green bell pepper, and they're being taken over by the kale. So in this box, I have a Roma tomato that I staked with a little hook that I had at the house. That's another better bush because I love tomatoes. And that way I'll have them coming in as the other one stops producing. This one should be ready to produce. My basil, green beans. Good morning, Deb. Good morning, Jolene. Good morning, little Angela. So, my miniature rose bush and garlic chives are still doing well. Rosemary is thriving. My mint, I moved it here so that it wouldn't get as much sun because mint likes a little bit of shade. That's struggling, that Delilah plant. I don't know what's, I'm going to have to give it some attention today. I don't know what's going on. And as I told y'all, I had arugula for dinner last night. And this was arugula that was about to bolt. So I harvested as much as I could from it. And then last week I just threw some seeds in here. I belong to a gardening group, and they encourage you, just do it and see what happens. And I know it's a little late for be planting lettuce, but this part of the porch is in shade most of the day. So I went ahead and threw some arugula seeds in there, and they're coming up. What else is out here? Romaine lettuce. I've been using the cut and come again method. So I've been eating off of this for weeks. As you can see where I've been cutting, the bigger, more mature leaves from the bottom, and new leaves come out of the top. So, and I love Caesar salad, so this has been fantastic. And this is just my Gabbana daisy. I don't think that's right, but it's always my centerpiece, simply because red is my favorite. Good morning, Real. Red is my favorite color. And that's the collard greens. I think it's too many of them in there too. But we'll see. I done bought more pots, guys. Oh my God, I done lost my mind. I still haven't unveiled the back patio yet because I'm making it special and I'm experimenting with some stuff. So when it gets to a little bit bigger and I get finished, I'm going to show that to you. But I put some neem oil spray on the collards last night while it was cool. And as you can see, the bottle was about empty because some of the leaves have some on it, some of them don't. Good morning, Cornelis. Good morning, Judy. That's the cabbage. Something is snacking on the leaves too. But it's still doing well and healthy. And as you can see, got a baby cabbage starting to form there. And a baby cabbage starting to form there. But when I tell you, good morning, ladies, nothing is more enjoyable to me than coming to my front porch and picking my dinner. That is the absolute truth. So today's topic, oh, I forgot something. Let me go before I. So on the side of the house, you know, I live in a townhouse. And we can't plant anything in the ground. But they didn't say anything about pots. So these are dwarf, what are they called? Some queen sunflowers. They get 4 or 5 feet tall. And the seeds, African queen, no, dwarf velvet queen sunflowers that I transplanted into pots earlier this week. So I'll have sunflowers there that one will attract pollinators, and they'll get 4 or 5 feet tall because they're a dwarf, not the little bitty little dwarf variety, but still they don't get as tall as regular sunflowers. So my topic this morning was creating your environment. And as you can see, I'm walking across the lawn. I live in the end townhouse, so the benefit is I have this big lawn area beside my house. Kids play over here. People bring their dogs over here. Sometimes they clean up after them. Sometimes they don't. But last year when I moved here, I was looking at this area here. It's just you know, it's outside the borders of the ground, so the landscapers don't do any work beyond this. And I was like, that area that's prime real estate for a gardener. Now, I don't have any gardening equipment like a tiller or anything, but I was like, what can I do to make this area more beautiful? Good morning, Chris. So, on yesterday, I had been growing sunflowers in some trays in the house because earlier in the season, I planted some out here and it didn't do anything. I don't know if it was the weeds took over or what, or the birds got it. But yesterday, I got up and I planted sunflowers out here all along here, so that when I'm sitting on my back patio, the environment I see is full of these beautiful giant sunflowers that get anywhere between 10 and 16 feet tall. I put them, just stagger them in areas that will get full sun most of the day. I didn't put any in this particular area right here because you see these big tall vining trees cover most of the area. And when I tell you I've had one of the most difficult weeks of my life, that is the absolute truth. Last Saturday, I was about to go live and got some news that shook me to my core. But I know that if I spend time outside and I am in nature, that it helps me get recentered and helps me bring me back to a peaceful state. So I said, you know, what can I do to help me during this time? So I decided to plant my sunflowers. Now those sunflowers are gonna do two things. One is gonna be, this is the back of my house now. They are planted all along there. It'll provide camouflage to the neighborhood behind me, which is nothing wrong with it. But when I come out in the morning times, I can see the beautiful sunflowers and everything that I have planted here to create an environment that I know is the most healthy and most conducive for me. And today I'm going to take that a step further. I've got some seeds of perennial wildflowers. Not some seeds, some packs of seeds of perennial wildflowers. That means that they'll come back year after year. I have packs of zinnias and daisies. And I only had, I think, 12 or 14 sunflowers. So I planted all of those that are going to be in my direct view right along that area. But in this area, I'm going to plant the zinnias, daisies, and perennial wildflowers. Now, I'm just going to scatter the seeds. And whatever comes up, comes up. But when I create that environment, guess what it's going to do? One, it's going to create something that's beautiful for me to look at. It's going to draw pollinators like bumblebees, birds, and other things that'll be beneficial to my garden, to my vegetables, because they need pollinators. The squash, zucchini, and other things that have male and female flowers, they need those pollinators. So putting this garden here, one, is going to be beautiful to me. Oh, it's going to be absolutely gorgeous. But it's going to attract things that are going to be beneficial to my garden. But then it's also going to be beneficial to my neighbors, because even my garden on my front porch, they don't come on my porch, but they stop when they're walking by and tell me how they enjoy looking at the things that I'm growing. So I see several families that come out with their kids, little kids, I'm talking about toddlers, and they're showing them different leaves and different things. So it's going to be beneficial to the kids that live in my neighborhood. Parting all the trash cans. Yesterday was trash day and everybody hadn't pulled theirs back in yet. But they'll be able to come over here and share some nature with their children. They'll be able to see some of the things that God does on his own, just with some sunshine and rain. And the good thing about this garden is I don't really have to tend to it. Wildflowers are of such that if you put them in the ground, they can constantly draw from the ground. But anyway, then it'll create food for rabbits and deer that might prevent them from feasting on what's on my porch. Because I promise y'all, last year a deer was on my front porch, like, it scared me to death. I just saw it go by the frosted glass beside my front door. Had a mini little heart attack because I just happened to be walking out of the kitchen back towards the living room and saw this shadow go by. One, it was huge. Two, I don't want that to happen anymore. I don't want them to eat up my kale. But this will be food for them that I won't mind them eating. But can you imagine what this area is going to look like? And I don't know if you can see it, but those thick batchet like things, rabbits live in there. So you see baby rabbits over here and stuff. But anyway, creating your environment. Nature is where I like to be. I'm a country girl. I like hiking. I like camping. And, you know, I enjoy gardening on my house, on my own front porch and my back patio. But how beautiful is it going to be able to look up? Now, last year I enjoyed looking over here and just seeing all the different shades of green. Just to see what God creates naturally. From the green on the pine trees to the different leaves on the maple and willow trees. I think that's a willow over there. And for those of y'all who are noticing these leaves are 3, I've already confirmed that it is a poison ivy. But whenever I'm working over here, I have on jeans. I got on my hiking socks, my hiking shoes. I wear a long sleeve shirt. Good morning, Tony. Good morning, Quava. Good morning, Victoria. I wear a long sleeve shirt and my gardening gloves, and I have a shovel to work. But today, when I'm scattering seeds, I'm not actually going over in there. I'm just going to throw them and water it and let nature do its thing. But yesterday I made sure that I was covered up completely, and this morning I don't have any itchy bumps all over me, so I think I did a good job. But with the sunflowers, I'm creating an environment that is conducive for me. And in doing that's when I'm my most creative. I'm trying to find a position where you can see me. Maybe y'all can see me, but I can't see you. I'm trying to create an environment where I am my most peaceful, where I am my most creative, and where I am my happiest. So I planted these sunflowers. I have my garden on the front porch that I'm able to eat from. But I planted this garden, this wildflower garden, zinnias, daisies, sunflowers, so that I can create an environment that is conducive for growth for me. So I'm walking back to the porch now, but I'm looking down because, like I said, people walk their dogs over here, and some of them are not good guests. But I want to encourage you to do the same in your life. You don't have to do gardening. That's what I love to do. Again, I'm a country girl. I ain't got no shame in being a country girl, and I don't care where I go or where I live. I'm going to have a garden. But you have to do the same thing in your life, and that is create an environment that is conducive for you. One that will allow you to grow and to thrive and to be at your happiest no matter what's going on. We are living in difficult times now, and we have got to actively do things that are going to uplift us. We've got to actively do things that are going to empower us, and we've got to actively do things that are going to help us keep our peace and actively remind us of who we are in God, and that He resides on the inside of us. So the joy that we're looking for, the joy that we're seeking from external things is already on the inside of us. But we got to create the environment where it can produce what God has already planted in us. So I just want to take a minute this morning to show you the environment that I have created right here at my house. Haven't been anywhere. I went overboard with the garden this year. Good morning, Robin. Gosh, I haven't seen you on in a while. It's good to have you on. I took a moment to create an environment that is going to be conducive for me. So I can't wait to show you guys what becomes of that weedy, grassy little area there once I scatter my seeds today. I'm praying that they come up, but if they don't, that's okay too. But I'm creating an environment that is going to be beneficial to me, it's going to be beneficial to nature, and it's going to be beneficial to my neighborhood. Got to contribute to your neighborhood. You got to, because we all are connected. We are interconnected and intraconnected, whether we want to believe that or not. When you do things to beautify, and I live in a good neighborhood, but when you beautify your neighborhood, it has an impact on people. And when you impact them, they impact their neighbor, and they go outside of your neighborhood and impact people. So we are not in this thing by ourselves. It is not just about us. So this wildflower, a zinnia, and daisy garden that I'm going to plant today, it's going to impact me. It's going to impact my neighbors, and it's going to impact nature. And so, because we have to leave a positive imprint no matter what we touch. So, as I said earlier, this past week has been one of the most trying weeks I've had in a long, long time. But I decided that I'm going to be proactive, and I'm going to do something to create an environment that is going to allow me to continue to thrive. So, guys, this was an impromptu in the garden. I didn't have anything scheduled or anything planned, but I was sitting on my patio having some coffee, and I looked around and I realized that I was creating an environment that wasn't just for me. So, guys, thank you for watching In the Garden with Joyful Living. I love you all. I hope this has been a benefit to you this morning. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye. Wait a minute. What's Tara saying? It's going. Yes, Tara. When they lift the stay-at-home orders and we feel safe, because I'm going to tell y'all, when they first lift them, I ain't going nowhere. Because you know the cases are going to spike. When people just get happy and start running around like ain't nothing going on. Because some of them feel that way. Oh, Lord, these people in North Carolina, I don't know what to think about them. But everybody can do their own thing. But what I was saying, Tara, is, good morning, Mo. When it's safe for us to come out again, you got to bring the kids over, because I want them to see the vegetables and stuff growing on the patio. But then hopefully by then we'll have some stuff coming up in the wildflower garden. And guys, I'm sorry, but Tara just lives up the street from me, so she'll get to come and I'll have some, hopefully by then I'll have some vegetables and stuff to share with you guys. But Tara, I love you. I miss you too. But yeah, I want to have this area to show kids where the stuff that they see in the grocery store comes from. Like, it's not, you know, it didn't just magically appear. There are for people farming for that stuff. And if we can teach kids now how to grow their own stuff, because that's what happened to me. I remember when I was 7 or 8 years old, and probably even younger than that, being in the garden with my grandparents, picking everything that I'm growing now. So I knew where my food came from. But I also knew that I enjoyed digging in the dirt. And coming up in my 20s, didn't really do anything with that. But when I got in my 30s, I started planting stuff. And the older I've got, the more I'm planting. So if we can teach our kids how to grow their food, whenever something like this comes up, you don't have to be afraid. If the grocery store going to close or not, I know how to grow my food. And I know I'm going to eat well every day because it's right here on my porch. And nothing gives me more joy. I talked to my two best friends, Tara and Keisha, last night. We had a conference call. And then at the end, I was like, I got to go, guys. I got to get me something to eat. I'm hungry. But it wasn't anything, I didn't want to go in the kitchen and cook anything. I stepped out on my front porch, clipped me some kale, clipped me some arugula, and clipped some strawberries. And there was my dinner. A beautiful, fresh, no pesticides used salad that I grew. I picked it off my front porch, and within 2 minutes, I was eating. So, anyway, I went on and on and on about my vegetables, but we have to create an environment that is conducive for our growth and that is sustainable, that will continue to reap benefits long after we plant that initial seed. So, guys, thank you for watching. I already said the closing once, but Tara Henry started this. This is Tara's fault. But guys, thank you so much. I love you, and I cannot wait to show you the other things that I've been planning and doing. And y'all pray my wildflower garden comes up. I really want to see that. That's going to be beautiful. Anyway, all right. I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye.